Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to be visiting family for a few days, and I'm not going to be posting any videos until sometime next week. I've just been struggling, as many of us have been, these last several days to concentrate and to find meaningful ways to communicate here on the channel. A very wise woman in my life has convinced me of the importance for all of us to keep on doing the things that give our lives meaning. I guess that this was the message that I was trying to convey in last week's Poetry Thursday episode. It just seems like I'm having trouble myself sustaining that sense of mission. I take a few steps forward and feel like I'm moving out of the darkness, and then I slip back. I slip far back. It's hard to keep trying to move forward in meaningful ways right now. I did not plan to do a summary video on the Read 24 in 2024 banned book challenge, but then I decided that now more than ever it's essential that we keep reading and talking about these targeted books. And so I made that video, a few steps forward. I wanted to make a Poetry Thursday video before I left to visit with my family, but my timing is all off. A Poetry Thursday video should have been posted about 12 hours ago. Everything is just off. But I wanted to read a poem that I found that I think goes very well with my earlier video about the banned book challenge and why it's so important that we keep reading and keep talking about books. And this is by one of my favorite poets and another poet that I look to for comfort, and no, it's not Mary Oliver again. This is a poem by another favorite poet of mine, Naomi Shihab. And I've talked about her on the channel before, and I've done episodes about her. I've read her poetry before, but I don't believe I've ever read this poem. This is called Because of Libraries, We Can Say These Things. She is holding the book close to her body, carrying it home on the cracked sidewalk down the tangled hill. If a dog runs at her again, she will use the book as a shield. She looked hard among the long lines of books to find this one. When they start talking about money, when the day contains such long and hot places, she will go inside. An orange bed is waiting. Story without corners. She will have two families. They will eat at different hours. She is carrying a book past the fire station and the Five and Dime. What this town has not given her, the book will provide. A sheep, a wilderness of new solutions. The book has already lived through its troubles. The book has a calm cover, a straight spine. When the step returns to itself as the best place for sitting, and the old men up and down the street are latching their clippers, she will not be alone. She will have a book to open and open and open. Her life starts here. And then, just as I was getting ready to make this video, I received an email from an organization that I follow, the Center for Courage and Renewal. And I'll leave their information in the notes for this video. And this email contained a message from Dr. Parker J. Palmer, one of the 3 founders and senior partners of the organization. Dr. Palmer talked in this letter about an incredible online session that the center offered to the public right after the election, a session that 1,000 people attended online. I'd like to read just an excerpt from Dr. Palmer's letter. From the get-go, we've known that we're swimming upstream with our belief that good work begins with a deep bow to the sanctity of the soul. But for at least a decade, the currents we've been swimming against have felt less like resistance and more like an outright assault on human identity and integrity, a feeling that came to a head for some with the November 5th election here in the U.S. Among us, emotions have ranged widely: shell shock, burning rage, the bone-deep hurt that makes one wonder whom to trust, a sense of being alien in one's homeland, a visceral fear of state-sanctioned violence against body and soul. None of this is partisan. All of it is deeply human. On November 7th, 2 days after the general election, CCR issued a public invitation to gather online in a space bounded by ground rules that make it safe for the soul. 1,000 people signed up. For over an hour, we did what David Whyte urges us to do in his poem, Loaves and Fishes. We offered each other good words, knowing we'd be heard without judgment and with, yes, a deep bow to the soul. By good words, I don't mean platitudes about bucking up. I mean honest and vulnerable words about who and how we are. Words that come from the depths of the darkness and light that we all carry within us. During our November 7th event, the words spoken were indeed bread for 1,000, feeding our need to connect authentically with our sisters and brothers. We spoke and heard real words from people who want to create a trustworthy community of shared purpose and resolve. And I just wanted to close by sharing the poem that Dr. Palmer refers to in this letter. And this is a poem by the poet David Whyte, and it's called Loaves and Fishes. This is not the age of information. This is not the age of information. Forget the news and the radio and the blurred screen. This is the time of loaves and fishes. People are hungry, and one good word is bread for 1,000. So this is my small effort, I guess, to put forth a few good words. I'll be back sometime next week. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.